Hello everyone, Dr. Jason West, and I'm excited to share with you a treatment called vitamin infusion therapy. It's a way to really correct chronic health diseases quickly. We started in 1916. I know I look way younger than how old that is, and all joking aside, it was started by my great-grandfather and my grandfather and my dad. And back in 2000, my dad got really ill. His liver enzymes went off the charts, his joints basically wouldn't work, his eyes swelled shut, a lot of bowel problems, and we didn't find out till later that he actually bit down on a nut, and he had a crown on his tooth. He had a mercury filling or a mercury post underneath it. He got some of the mercury into his GI system, and he did not function very well. It was horrible. We were taken around to all of these different specialists, and the specialists work really hard on trying to help us understand, but no one gave us any answers. And I was at a medical conference in Kansas City, Missouri, and a doctor there said, "Hey, Dr. West, your dad has scurvy." And I said, "No, scurvy was solved 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago by Dr. Lind, and it was all about taking limes and lemons and oranges and stuff like that and getting into the diet of sailors so that they didn't have the joint pain and the ligament problems and their teeth falling out and bruising and stuff like that." And sure enough, those were my dad's conditions. We actually got a lot of help from a Dr. Taylor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he told us how to do these vitamin C infusion treatments, and overnight they took my dad from death's door to really good health. And so we started doing them here, and I have absolutely fallen in love with a way to absolutely turn around fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, peripheral neuropathy. There's a protocol for macular degeneration. These conditions that usually don't get a lot of medical help. And if you skip the stomach and go right into the bloodstream with vitamin C and B5, B6, B12, magnesium, potassium, all natural things, and increase the concentration gradient so you can actually get way higher concentrations of vitamins. You go through the intravenous route than through the oral route, and you can make changes. A lot of times people will say, "Why can't I just take the oral therapy or oral route?" And the answer is, by the time people get to our office, they're out of hope, they're out of options, they've tried a lot of things. This is usually the most reasonable route to make changes. Your lifestyle is absolutely key, your diet is key, but one of the neatest things about these protocols is the vitamin C application. You could probably write a book about what vitamin C doesn't do. It would be easier than to write a book about what vitamin C does, because it does everything. And it's probably my favorite vitamin. Vitamin D3 is right behind it, but vitamin C is so amazing because it's the most powerful electron donor in nature. And what I tell people is vitamin C is kind of like a bank. If you have more electrons or more money going into your bank, you're healthy. If you have more withdrawals, then what happens is you go into debt, and your body will go to different organs and tissues and steal the vitamins and minerals from those tissues to run things. So you rob Peter to pay Paul. And so really, when people have a chronic fatigue issue or a fibromyalgia issue, what is happening is they're out of energy. And vitamin C infusions help to give your energy. It helps to turn on your immune system, so it's really effective for chronic infections. We've saved multiple legs and a hand from amputation. We've turned around conditions that were not responding to IV antibiotics or hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy because of the vitamin C. So you're donating electrons to the body, you add the mineral component, and you can get some amazing turnarounds. Another IV application that's really powerful is to do something called dimethyl sulfur oxide therapy, or DMSO therapy, essentially refined tree sap. It's a universal softener. It does make you smell like garlic, but it is so effective for circulatory conditions, especially stroke recovery and cardiovascular conditions. There's also the ability to do some refined hydrogen peroxide therapy, where you take 1 cc of hydrogen peroxide, you add it to 100 cc's of a saline or 5% dextrose solution, and it's like putting Alka-Seltzer in your system. It's not harmful. We've done thousands and thousands of treatments with hydrogen peroxide, but it gets extra oxygen in your system. And then something to get rid of toxins and to flush the lymph nodes is dilute hydrochloric acid therapy, where you take 1 cc of hydrochloric acid and add it to 500 cc's of sterile water. You put it into infusion, and it has amazing ion changes in the lymph node, which is your infectious processing center. So you can do some things with vitamin infusion therapy that are just not possible using the oral therapy route. And when you get people to change their lifestyle, you have self-communication, get some movement into their system, and use the IV vitamin infusion pathways, now we don't hope for miracles, we actually expect. So how we do vitamin infusion therapy is we take some saline or electrolyte solution, or sometimes sterile water. And if you add enough vitamins into the solution of sterile water, you can actually get it to be the milliosmolarity of blood, which means that you can get the blood and the vitamin solutions basically to equally each other out. You put it into a little container, it's gravity fed. You take a little catheter, you stick it into the vein, and what happens is you start infiltrating everywhere where blood goes to with this amazing vitamin solution. You can increase the concentration gradient, which means you can get really high dose vitamins in there, and actually we can push it into the organs, into the tissues. It helps to turn on the immune system. Usually the treatments take about 2 to 3 hours to do. When people are really sick, the initial couple treatments, they'll feel a little bit more fatigued or tired because you're actually flushing all of those toxins. When you're feeling pretty healthy or have been doing them for a while, I always tell people it feels like I'm getting a burst of controlled energy. I feel like I can walk through walls and bullets can bounce off me, and I can learn Greek or calculus because it really helps with the vitamin solutions to your nervous tissue and to your brain. Thanks for watching the video on infusion therapy, how to use vitamins to bypass the stomach and heal you from the inside out. If you like our video, please give us a thumbs up, and you'll see a report on vitamin infusion therapy in the description below. See you on the next video.